Hello, Flosstube. It's only been 1 week since my last video, but I'm doing a Flosstube extra this time. A lot of people are doing WIP parades. I have too many WIPs to do on one WIP parade. So what I've been trying to do is like seasonal WIP parades. So I meant to do this earlier than now, but it just didn't happen. So I'm going to share with you my winter or Christmas and winter WIPs. So WIP is a work in progress. So let's just get started. I won't have any haul or anything else to show you. It'll be just my Christmas and winter WIPs. These first few you have probably seen recently because they are in my WIP Warriors group. So I've been working on them. Oh, I forgot to take the Q-snap off this one side. Let me do that real quick. This first one is Shabby Winter Calendar by Kori Batakori, and I've been working on it on Sundays right now as my seasonal WIP, and I forgot to bring my cardboard, so we'll just make do. So this is how much I have done, the first two, and I've started on the third one. And this is, like I said, my seasonal WIP for the WIP Warriors. So I work on it on Sundays for the winter months. All right, I'm not going to put everything back in, but I did want to put that Q-snap back. Try not to make too much of a mess. I have tried to unzip all of the bags so that maybe it won't be too noisy. All right. This next one is Kringles by Little House Needlework. And it's just in my wheel. So when it comes up on the wheel spin, then I'll work on it. So I've this much done so far. So that middle, well, I guess it's the, yeah, I think it's the middle. Yeah, the middle row of little shops or whatever, and I'm working my way up, and I want to do the roof, work this next row up and do the roof to get it done, because it's a lot of just this dark stitching. So I've done, yep, this row. I'll work up and do the next row and the roof next. And this is on the called for fabric, 30 count Parisian gray. So I think that was the called for fabric, and I'm using all the called for flosses on it. The Shabby Winter, I'm trying to do better about telling you the fabrics. I don't always remember. And I left my glasses on today, so we'll see how bad that is for you. This is 32 count Pearl Gray by Witchelt. Okay. And this one you've seen recently. I just picked up the next one in this series today at my LNS.
It's Friday, Jen.
Sorry about that. This is Big City Christmas. The first one is Department Store. And this is on 32 count Country French Cafe Mocha. And this is what I have done on it. So this is just the first one. Like I said, I picked up the second one today. It was, oh, I don't remember what the second one is now. And I've seen a picture of the third one, I think, is a toy store. And it's out now. That's what I work on at lunch, and it's a part of my 23 WIPs for WIP Warriors. And then this one is one of my Heaven and Earths. So I'm doing full coverage Friday for WIP Warriors. And so I spin a wheel and let it decide which full coverage I'm going to work on that month. And so this one hasn't come up yet. I've been working on Sea Opal this month. Actually, this one I can just fold. But this is Home for Winter. It's Lucy Pittaway is the artist, started by Heaven and Earth. And I will put a picture of what the finished picture will look like, but this is all I've got done on it. And this was my first project using the Royal Rose which I really do like. I feel like it goes faster. So I've been converting some of my other ones to Royal Rose too. All right, those are all the ones that you may have seen when I was kicking off my plans for this year. Those are all the ones that are on my board for WIP Warriors this year. The rest of these I can't work on this year unless I finish something and pull them in. Actually, this one you have seen recently because I finished one of them. So I can't show you a picture of this because I just have the chart. But this is City Christmas, I think they're called. It's a series. Yes. So I finished the first one, which was this one. And I showed you that one last time. And then this is the second one. And it has a Santa sleigh going across the top of it. And another house, I think. Yep, it's got two houses with a tree in the middle. So I was working on that at lunch, but it's not on my list for WIP Warriors. So it will be put away. All right, I'm going to try and just set them over here out of the way. Hopefully we won't have a big mess. This one you have also seen recently because I did work on it over the holidays. I'm just trying to pull out a piece of paper to put behind it. This is Prairie Schooler Christmas, Merry Christmas, Christmas Alphabet. So that's what it will look like. And it was part of, for 2021, in semi-sane, we were supposed to pick a alphabet to do, and this is the one I picked, but obviously I did not get it done. So here's what I have done total through Q. So I think I have, yeah, just one more row after this. There's R is here, and then one more row. So what I was working on, and you've already seen this, but I did the P and the Q this year. My mom also cross stitches, so I got to spend a couple of extra days that weren't planned with them while my husband drove my son and his girlfriend to Denver because they were had a Southwest flight. So he drove from my hometown of Manhattan, Kansas, to Denver, which is about 6.5 hours. Because they couldn't find another flight. I mean, it was just crazy. And he didn't mind, and it made it easier for them to get all their stuff home. So, and that meant I got to spend more time with my parents. So my mom and I sat and stitched and watched football with my dad. All right, there are a couple of projects in this bag. The first one is a Just Nan snowball. I can't even tell you when I started on this. It was a long time ago. And I've just done a little bit of, so there's two different colors. This is the white, and it's an opal, yeah, you can see that really well. It's a really pretty opalescent, and then there's also a blue opalescent that's in there. And then after you get them all stitched, then you put them all together. So someday. So that's the first project in there. And then the second one is, I'm looking to see if I have the, yeah, this one. This is a Mill Hill Silent Night. And I'm not doing it on the Aida that was in the kit. I work mostly on linen or even weave. So it is almost done. I probably should have put it on my WIP Warriors board. I can pull it in if I finish something because it just has back stitching and then beads, and I think that's it. It'll be done. And I did get, there is a companion piece, although I haven't started it, so it's not really a WIP, but just to show you. There's a Holy Night also, and I got some red fabric for that. So yeah, if I finish something towards the end of the year when I want to work on Christmas, then I might just pull that one in and have another finish. I am putting these back in the bags, even though I'm not zipping them, because otherwise it will be a complete mess when I'm done. All right, and so it's a surprise for me when I open these bags to see what's in there. Oh, this one is, I don't think, oh no, I do know what this is. I think I know what this is. Yeah. This is my very small start. I have a whole bunch of stuff in the bag. I don't know if this one says where it's from. I don't know. I ordered this bag, but I don't remember who it's from, but it's really pretty and it's a nice big bag, which I love. This is Winter Montage by Janet Stever, and it's charted by Heaven and Earth. So I have all of the patterns for all the seasons, and I had originally thought I might do these as my seasonal stitches, but I decided I didn't need to start that many more full coverage. So this is all I have, and I'm doing this one Royal Rose, so there's threads everywhere. So just this little corner is all I have of it. Maybe next year I can do these if I make some progress on my full coverage that I have this year. I have one that I really do want to finish. It's a quick stitch, which is relative. It is smaller than other Heaven and Earth, but I don't know that I would call it quick. So maybe if I finish that, I can start some of these. And I will put a picture in of what that's going to look like. You've probably seen it, but this one, I really do need to take this off the Q-snap, is called, I think it's called Gloria. It is by Tempting Tangles, and I do not have a picture of it. Let me just take it off real quick. It was a mystery stitch along when I first got it, and I'm sorry, I don't know. You probably can purchase it full now. I really don't know. I haven't looked. I started this several years ago. I do not have in front of me any dates, so next time I'll try and do that for you so you know when they were started. But this one I did start several years ago. I'm just taking all the Q-snaps off of it. Okay, I remember that one's got a needle in it. So it's going to be a big one when it's done. But this is what I have done so far. So it says Gloria. I'll see if I can find a picture to put in. It says Gloria, and then it has like a town and some trees, and I got lots of fabric. But it's really pretty. The colors in it are not your traditional. It's got some pretty purples. Purples never show up on camera very well. So I grew up in Manhattan, Kansas, and that's the home of the Wildcats, and that's our color is purple, and when we watch our team on TV, it never looks purple. But this is really a true purple. It's coming across blue, but so it's really a fun stitch. I do want to get back to it. That's the problem, like everybody says when they do WIP parades, like, oh, I really want to stitch on that. Oh, I really want to stitch on that. And I know this time I can't on any of these because they're not on my board for WIP Warriors. So WIP Warriors is the new name for No New Starts. And they have, just in case you haven't heard of it, they have several different options. And this is my first year with them, so I don't know what's new and what isn't this year. But they have several options. One is truly no new starts. You can't start anything unless you finish something. And I don't know if there's a limit. I'm not sure how that's different than mine, other than the limit. But I'm in the 23 and 23, so I have a list of 23 WIPs, and those are the only WIPs I can work on. Unless I finish one, and then I can start another one. Now, one thing I do know that is new this year is that in past, you've not been able to start a project bigger than the one you finished. So if you finished a small, then you could only start a small, and they didn't do that this year, which I'm thankful for. I'm not sure everybody agrees with that, but I'm glad. Oh, we have two in here too. So this one is Ornaments All Around by Glendon Place. And it has so much Krynic in it, but it's so pretty. So I am doing the Krynic as I go on this. just because there wouldn't be hardly anything, well, there would be stuff to stitch, but not nearly as much. But this is where I am. So you can kind of see some of that. And the fabric is opalescent too. So it's really going to be a beautiful picture someday when it's done. And then the other one that's in this bag, whew, this is going to be a mess. Oh, that crank is this one has been in timeout for a long time because I need to rip some out and redo it. So this is Santa's Village. So there's a whole bunch of these and you've probably seen these. I've started just on the first one. And this is on lamb's wool, which is not my favorite just because it's very stiff. But the problem is that the snow doesn't, like on the house, above the house, I think that's what it calls for, which is maybe just white. And then I did some in B5200 and it shows up better. So I need to just figure out, yeah, what I need to rip out and what to leave, and that's why it's been in timeout. But I am going to do it all on the one big piece of fabric. So that will be quite the picture someday when it gets done. And I really do, all of my WIPs, none of these do I want to UFO, which means make them into unfinished, meaning you don't plan on ever finishing them. All of these I do want to finish. I just have too many of them, which is why I decided to try this WIP Warriors this year, so that maybe it would keep me from starting things, although I bought fabric today to start 2 new things, so I'll show those to you next time in my regular Flosstube update. But I have 2 spots open on my board, and they are things that I will start and finish because one is a gift for my new grandson, a birth sampler for my new grandson who's due at the end of March, and the other is a Valentine one. It's the Tiny Town, and that I'll want to just start and finish. So this next one is Frosty Forest. It's Country Cottage. So there's a whole group of these. This is, I think, the one I'm working on right now. I need to just buy one of those boards. So this is how much I have done. I have 3 of them done. And then I've started on this one down here. And I'm guessing that's probably why this one is out, because this is the one I'm working on. I don't know. But there are 9 of them total, and I think it says in the middle, yeah, in the middle there's one that says Frosty Forest. I guess I can show them to you. You may not have seen these. I haven't seen people working on them as much lately. I was looking to see if I could see the copyright. I mean, it's been out for quite a few years. But they're just fun. Fun little wintry scenes. And I love houses. So anything with houses, I'm probably going to want to buy. And this is the last one. So, real cute set. Someday it will be hanging on my wall. And it can stay up, past Christmas because it's just a winter one, not a Christmas one. Okay. Running out of space over here. We're almost done though. Only about 4 more, I think. This next one you probably have seen. It's Farmhouse Christmas. And I just have a small start on it, but I'll show you all the patterns real quick. I've seen a lot of people do these as individual pillows like this, and I have seen some that have done them as a big project, which is what I'm going to do. They're really cute. I don't remember what fabric. I'll have to look and see what fabric I'm doing it on. This is one of my favorites. Oh no, that plaid roof. Too cute. And the last one. Nice barn with some black sheep. And it's a pretty stiff fabric that I'm doing them on. Let's see. It does not. Oh yes, it does. It's 30 count Portobello. And so I've just been working on this first one with the white sheep, the barn and the white sheep. And this is all that I have done. That white really does show up nicely on this fabric. And the border, I can't remember, I think you could find it online, the border to go around it. So it's like a free border if you're doing it all as one big project like this to put around it. And I'm using the called for over dyed floss on it. All right, what's in the next bag? Oh yes, this is one I've been working on. I haven't worked on it for a long time, but it's really pretty. It's another big one. I think that's the problem. I love all the big projects, and so I never get them done. This is Quaker Christmas 2 by Bygone Stitches. And I started this years ago when there was a local needlework store in North Little Rock. So I'm in Little Rock. There was one in North Little Rock. So that was quite a few years ago, and I haven't got very much done. So this fabric, I wonder if I wrote on here, because this shop didn't put anything on the fabric for me to know, but it's a really rich kind of goldish tan. And this is what I have done. Really rich, pretty colors. So I'm using blue spruce for the green, and those are Gentle Arts. And then for the red, I'm using Currant. And those are the only two colors, so I have lots of Currant, because that's what the majority of it is. But I wanted to buy it all at once because you know how dye lots are on these over dyed. Oh, here's the fabric. It is 28 count Autumn Gold. Vintage Autumn Gold by Lakeside Linens. I don't know if that's available anymore or not. Like I said, I've had this for quite a few years. So if I ever get to retire, then I can get some more of these done. As long as I'm not spending too much time with my grandkids. That's the other thing I want to do when I retire. I want to stitch and stamp and play with grandkids. Sounds like fun. All right. I think just a couple more. And this is just my Christmas and winter WIP. So in the spring, I will do another WIP parade of spring WIPs. I do have them all sorted like that in my storage. I have a closet downstairs in the basement, and they're all stored that way in their own totes, so it makes it easy for me to do WIP parades this way. This is Peace on Earth by Cottage Garden Samplings. I can never remember it's sample. Gorgeous, gorgeous one. And I started working on the house on this one. And this fabric is 32 count Dove. Really pretty colors in this. And I think I'm using, yeah, it calls for over dyed sampler, and I'm using the called for floss. And this is the called for fabric. They did on 36 count, but I don't usually go down to 36 count. I usually stick with 32. All right. Last bag. I think there are 2 projects in here. These are both old ones. So this is, so I have gone several times to Tulsa to the Silver Needle. They have summer events, And this is one, I don't know, it has 2012. So this is from 2012. And it's just a little kit that we got for that event from Bent Creek. And it's even signed by the designer. So this is Professor Snowy Day. And small start, just his hat, a little bit of his head. But it all came, you know, we got all the fabric and floss and everything, so. And then the last one is, oh, I don't even know how old this is. It could be 30 years ago, I don't know. I have been stitching, how long have I been stitching? Probably 35 years. So this is, and I don't think this designer has been in business for a while. This is the Workshop by Fancy That. It's in a little Ziploc bag. At least that's not as noisy. Oh, and my needle is still in there. Same. So this is what I have done on this one. And then there are a bunch of buttons that you put on for the lights. So I still like this. I still think it's really cute. Yeah. I just need to. Oh, so there's one. I was like, why is there this red? But there's one red ornament out here that's stitched, and the rest of these are lights. Then of course you have to stitch the top of it, but someday. All right. Guess I'll put that back in there so I don't lose my buttons. That's it. That is all my Christmas and winter WIPs. I hope you enjoyed this little Flosstube extra, and I will hopefully be back next Friday for a regular Flosstube update to show you what I've been working on. Just to remind you of my plans for this year as I work on Heaven and Earth on Fridays for Full Coverage Friday. I work on Mirabilias on Mondays for Mira Monday. And I work on, there's one more. Oh, Seasonal Sunday, which I talked about. I've been working on that Shabby Winter. I may switch out and work on the Valentine one. We'll see what I decide to do. Maybe I can finish one more square and then switch over to the Valentine on that. Okay, that's it. Thank you for joining me, and I will hopefully see you next week. Bye.